Unfiltered Podcast coming to you on October 5th, 2020. How you guys doing? I'm Ernest E.J. Christian coming to you here in, of course, my office studio, and call it. We're back. After about a year away from doing this show, I decided to stop the show late last year, early this year, because at the time I had a lot of time to record, and I was experiencing burnout and all that. But right now we're going through COVID right now and all that, and my passion to do more is starting to creep up again. Want to do more podcasting, more recording, do some of the things I love. And one of the things I miss about this show, about doing this podcast that I did for the last couple of years, is that nursery podcast is more of a long form thing. Guests, even my solo pods, are a lot longer. 30 minutes to an hour. This show was a 10, 15 minute rapid reaction, getting it out. A lot of these stories don't really have much life beyond a day or so, but I like reacting to things that happen in the moment. Whether it's sports related, pop culture related, it may be. So I've been thinking about this a little while. Number one, I call it Unfiltered number one because I don't put any production on this. I don't put any theme music really on this either. Is this really just me coming in here, turning on the microphone, whether it's on mobile, whether it's in my studio, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, let it rip, boom, boom, get out. I don't put any production on this. It's not something to be stewed over, really, more than anything else. And I kind of miss that. I kind of miss being able to just walk in here and just talk and leave. And on one hand, I was going to do this show, add this to my regular podcast feed, but then I'm thinking, well, if I do that, it's going to cloud up all the other stuff on there that I want people to listen to. I'm very mindful of how it's presented. If I'm doing the show 5 days a week, I don't want to have 5 shows of Unfiltered and then have that mixed in with the conversations, with the other stuff on there. So I don't know. I just decided, screw it. Let's do it this way, and we'll go from there. But in lieu of that, like I said, you want to have the opportunity to just sit here and talk about things in a moment. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do it here on this podcast. So let's get started here. Number one. Okay, the Miami Heat stay elimination. Now down 2-1 against the Lakers. 115-104 victory over the Lakers. What a game tonight. My guy, Jimmy Butler, doing the damn thing. Let me tell you something right now, and it's going to sound overly biased, but I'm going to say it anyway, real quick. Now, I do think the Lakers win this series. They're still winning the series. I think they win the next 2 games. But tonight felt like a Game 7 to me. Watching this game tonight felt like a Game 7. And my heart was on my throat the entire night watching the game. And watching this team undermanned, without Goran Dragic, without Bam Adebayo, and just doing the damn thing. I am super proud of this team, how they performed tonight. Jimmy Butler especially. I mean, and I've probably said this before in the past, but I'll say it again here. I've been a Heat fan 31 years, and I'm only including the Pat Riley era especially because this is when the team really became, the franchise really became itself. Jimmy Butler is probably the most perfect fit of a player. That's the perfect extension of what Pat Riley to Eric Spoelstra to the star player is. The only person I can say comes close to that, like you people will say, well, what about Dwayne Wade? But Dwayne Wade's a little more. Dwayne Wade is close to an icon. He was a little more Hollywood, but he still got the job done. All that. The only person that really was the prototype of a star that Jimmy Butler is today to the Heat was Alonzo Mourning. He was a perfect star extension from Pat Riley, and now with Jimmy Butler being here, it's Riley to Spoelstra to Jimmy Butler, and 1 year in, we're in the finals. What a performance tonight! 40 points, triple double, 40 points. I think it was 13 assists and 12 rebounds, something to that effect. Super proud of this team. Again, I don't think they'll win Game 4, Game 5, but again, this team has no quit in them, so you can never put it past them. I was texting my Laker buddies tonight, during the game, or close to the end of the game, and of course, they loved, obviously not say loved it because obviously Laker fans, but they were impressed with Jimmy Butler in his performance. But again, this is a Heat team, and I gotta tell you, I've been saying before in the past that this Heat team is probably my favorite, one of my top 3 favorites Heat squads of the 31 teams I've followed through my entire life. This might be my favorite one because the perfect mix of veterans and young players and rookies and the coaching staff and just the whole culture behind it. This is why there's a culture, the Heat culture. It matters. The grit, the attitude, just the competition. You knew, like, I knew after game one, like, whether or not the Heat were going to get swept or not, I knew the Heat will push back and show competition towards the Lakers. Lakers are the best team right now. They're the best team in the league. They got, in my opinion, the two best players of basketball in LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So it was always going to be a Laker victory, in my opinion. But that being said, I'm just proud of this team right now. In this moment, my goal was I did not want this team getting swept. That's all I really cared about. Was not this team not getting swept, and they avoid that. So now I believe now look, things can happen. Anything's possible. I mean, my opinion, I do think the Heat will probably drop next two games because I think what will happen. I think LeBron will probably go complain about the officiating, like you saw happen last year against Denver, and then things will just go their way. But right now, in this moment, between these next 24 hours, I'm gonna savor this victory and just enjoy it. So again, I'm super proud of this team, and that's all I can say. Really, to be honest with you. So yeah, Game 4 is on Tuesday night, which will be the same. I think the night before the vice presidential debates. But we'll discuss that in the days come. What else today? I want to talk about. It's gonna be like this podcast again. If you guys remember this podcast that I done in the past, typically 10, 15 minutes is gonna be that way. It won't be that long. Very short pods. Just kind of get in, get out. Reactionary. So. Didn't watch much football this week, or today for that matter. The only game I got to watch was Seattle, Miami, which I actually lost in the spread because I thought Miami would cover the spread. But very few takeaways today, really, based on the scores. Seattle's 4-0. Like I said, right now the MVP is Russell Wilson, without question. I mean, anybody that's going to debate that is foolish. Obviously tonight you have the two Monday night games. Now, with New England and Kansas City being rescheduled to tonight, obviously New England will be playing without Cam Newton. As a result, the spread now has ballooned from 7 points to 10.5 points. So Cam Newton is worth 3.5 points alone. One of the takeaways from this weekend, Joe Burrow is going to be a boss. Cincinnati cannot fuck this up. The Bengals cannot fuck this up. They won today their first game of the year over the Jaguars. He's going to be a boss. And if Mike Brown and the Bengals ownership really want to change their franchise and change the way they do things and change the perception of the Bengals, do not screw this up. Build around this kid. This kid is going to be really good in the future. The Cowboys are now 1-3, losing 49-38 to the Browns. Again, the Cowboys are who they are. The good thing is they play in the NFC East. So the Browns 3-1. I don't know how good about the Browns. I am going to make the playoffs this year, but I don't know how good they are. Baker Mayfield had a clean game. Didn't have. I mean, for a team that won 49, that put up 49 points today, he only had 165 yard passing. Let me say that again. Baker Mayfield had 165 yards passing. Dude, I can't say it properly today. What's going on? Oh well, not in and out. But they're 3-1, and Odell Beckham had a big game today. What else stood out to me today? The Bucks barely won today against the Chargers, but again, Tom Brady's back. 5 touchdowns today. Am I right about that? Tom Brady 5 touchdowns? Yes, 5 touchdowns. The Bucks, we go down the list of teams that are going to compete for the Super Bowl right now. 4 games. That's only 4 games in, but the Bucks, after the opening week against New Orleans, they have figured things out. They are now in the conversation for the Super Bowl right now through 4 weeks. Ravens bounced back, beat the Redskins 31-17. Ravens, again, to be expected. Skins are bad. Ravens are top 2 team in the AFC. That simple. The Cardinals back to earth, finally, as they lose to the Panthers. Now, who's now won 2 straight, 31-21. Like I said, just because the team goes 2-0 doesn't mean, does not mean that they're going to be a threat. Sometimes you need 4 weeks to see how a team marinates, and the Cardinals are not there yet. That's what I got for you. Vikings get the first win of the year, beating the Texans 31-23. The Vikings, Texans are 0-4. Obviously they missed DeAndre Hopkins, but again, I don't want to harp on the Texans too much. Yeah, they're 0-4. That's pretty bad. But I mean, opening year against Pittsburgh, against Kansas City, against Baltimore. Yeah, I mean that's tough. The Rams beat the Giants 17-9. The Giants are really bad. I'm surprised this game's even close, to be honest with you. Although I did pick them in the spread, plus 13. But, yeah, the Rams. Maybe the Rams are as good as we thought they were. I don't know. The frauds are the Bears. The Colts beat the Bears 19-11. The frauds that are the Chicago Bears finally came back to earth. Lose the first game of the year. And, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Nick Foles, not really a great day today for Nick Foles. Very inefficient game, but it is what it is. Let's see here. We got the Buffalo Bills who defeated the Las Vegas Raiders 30-23. Gotta tell you, the Bills 4-0. These are the games that I'm judging them on. I mean, they obviously got tougher games coming up next couple weeks, but 4-0 and a road game in Las Vegas against a fairly tough Raiders team. It's a game that typically the Bills will lose, but again, they figure things out. Start believing this team. I mean, again, as the sample grows, you start to say, okay, well, could this team be what you think they are? We'll see going forward. The Sunday game, of course, you had the Eagles win the first game of the year, beating the 49ers 25-20. Eagles still pretty bad, though. I don't know. I have no faith in NFC East teams. The NFC East is the glamour division of the NFL, and yet the worst, by far the worst division of football. It's disgusting. Eagles now 1-2-1. And yeah, this is that. Carson Wentz had a okay game this week. I didn't watch any of the game because I was watching the finals. I was also watching NXT TakeOver on top of that. So I think that's about it, really. Anything else I left out here? Oh, the Saints won. Yeah, I left the Saints game out. Saints beat the Lions 35-29 after being down by 14, I think, of some to that effect. Drew Brees, not a bad game. 19-25, 246, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Yeah, Lions are, back to earth, of course. So that's this week's takeaways. Really, I mean, like, we're 4 weeks into the year, and what have we learned so far about right now? Is that right now everything's status quo. Kansas City's the best team in the league. Seattle's really good. Russell Wilson, the MVP. Buffalo's really good. Baltimore's still pretty good. Can't be Kansas City. The bad teams are bad. Tampa's really, really good. There's really everything's pretty much status quo for the time being. But we shall see moving forward how things play out, because as this season's, assuming the season goes on, all these COVID, things that come out, all these COVID-19 cases has happened in the last couple of days. If we get a completion to the season, it'd be great. So we'll see what happens. So that'll do it for now. Unfiltered podcast. Thanks for again joining me on the show. Talk to you to the next episode. We'll talk to you later. Bye.